Bella's Bunny Barn specializes in custom orders for all types of bunnies. The variety of bunnies available is quite extensive. She received several orders asking for equal groups of bunnies of different colors. She started with her black and white bunnies and made orders for 3 customers. So she had her customers stand here, here, and here, and then she brought them the bunnies that they needed. So there's 2 for them, 2 for the second customer, 2 for the third customer. She brought 3 white bunnies over for the first customer, 3 for the second, and 3 for the third. And they still had bunnies to pass out, so each customer got another black bunny, and each customer got another white bunny. So each customer had 4 white bunnies and 3 black bunnies. So here's what the math looks like for that situation. You know altogether that there are 9 black bunnies plus 12 white bunnies. You know that Bella had 3 customers, so what she did was divided the number of bunnies by the number of customers. So 3B plus, and then 4W. Because 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. Another day she had 2 customers looking for gray, brown, and spotted bunnies. So first customer is here, and the second one's here, and she started bringing bunnies to them. She wanted to divide them equally, so she was careful. Okay, so let's think about the math. Altogether, there are gray, brown, and spotted bunnies. How many gray bunnies were there? Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gray bunnies. Plus, how many black bunnies? Sorry, brown bunnies. 1, 2, 3, 4. And how many spotted bunnies? Looks like 10. So what she did was saw that 6, 4, and 10 were all even numbers. She knew that she could do 2 customers, and she could divide the number of bunnies evenly. So if you think about 6 as a factor, what factors? 2 is a factor, and 3 is a factor. So 6 divided by 2 is 3G, and then 4 divided by 2 is 2B, and 10 divided by 2 is 5S. Another way to think about factoring is dividing, like I mentioned. So let's think back for a minute about distributing. The distributive property means to multiply. 3 times x, 3 times 2. You get 3x plus 6. So in factoring, you divide. 3 and 6 both have a common factor of 3. So you divide by the common factor. And when you divide, you factor. So if you have 4x plus 4, you can think about it like this. Not like that. Okay, there's my 4x, and now I need plus 4 in here. Okay, 4x plus 4. So now you can see that you can make 4 equal groups, and each group has x plus 1 in it. just circling the equal groups here. So 4x plus 4, if you factor it, you put the number of groups outside the parentheses, and then whatever is in the group is inside the parentheses. Do I have 4 groups? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I do. There's 4 groups. Is x plus 1 in each group? Yes. So another way to think about checking it is distributing 4 to the x gives you 4x. 4 times 1 gives you 4. So factor and distribute. 3x plus 12. You know that 3 and 12 have common factors. It's 3. And then 3 divided by 3 is 1x plus 4. Distribute to check. 3x plus 12. Yep. Now there's a rule. Always make the variable and the coefficient inside the parentheses positive. So this number that goes right here, whatever number it turns out to be, we want it to be positive. We need to do -2 divided by something to equal +1. So it needs to be divided by a negative because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So that number has to be negative and it has to equal 1. So it must be -2. So for this problem, you need to factor out -2. And then 4 divided by -2 is -2 because -2 times -2 equals 4. So this here needs to be -2. Now you distribute and check your work. -2 times x, is that -2x? Yes, it is. -2 times -2, is that +4? Yes, it is. 3 and 9. So they both have a factor of 3. So divide by 3 and put 3 outside the parentheses. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. -9 is right here. If you think about this as -9, then it's -9 divided by 3 gives you -3. And remember to distribute to check your work. 3 times x, is that 3x? Yes. 3 times 3, is that 9? Yes. And the subtraction sign stays the same. We have a negative coefficient. That means a negative number in front of the variable. So you need to factor out something that's negative. 12 and 36 both have a factor of 12. So factor out the greatest common factor, and then your factoring is done more quickly. So go through those steps. -12 divided by -12 is 1. And then -36 divided by -12 is 3. Distribute to check. Is -12 times x -12x? Yes. Is -12 times 3 -36? Yes, it is. 7 and 21. What's the common factor? 7. So factor out 7. Check it. 7x plus 21. Good to go. 6 and 10. 6 and 10 are both even numbers. So 2 and 3, 2 and 5. So factor out a 2. 3x plus 5. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now distribute to check your work. 2 times 3x, is that 6x? 2 times 5, is that 10? Yes. So your work is correct. 6 and 14, they're both even. 2 and 3, 2 and 7. So factor out a 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Looks good. 8 and 20. I know they're both even, but I also know that 4 is a factor. 4 is a common factor, and it's the greatest common factor, so I'm going to factor out a 4. This coefficient is negative, so factor out negative 4. Now check by distributing to see if you have the work correct. Negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. Negative 4 times positive 5 is minus 20. Okay, so our work here is correct. 4 and 22 are both even. 4 is negative, so let's make it, we need to factor out a negative to make things positive inside the parentheses. Okay, now check by distributing. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. Negative 2 times 11 is negative 22. 6 and 20, greatest common factor is 2. 3x plus 10. Negative 8, negative 18, greatest common factor is 2. 8 divided by negative 2 is 4. Negative 18 divided by negative 2 is 9. Distribute to check. Negative 2 times 4x is negative 8x. Negative 2 times 9 is minus 18. 4 and 10 are both even. There's a negative. That means we factor out a negative. And then negative 10 divided by negative 2 is positive 5. Distribute to check. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. We got it. 4x plus 11. Can that be factored? Well, no, because 11 is prime. Remember, prime numbers only have 1 and themselves as factors, so that one can't be factored. Can this one be factored? Yes, because 6 has a factor of 3, and 15 has a factor of 3. Divide them both by 3. Make it positive. Make that positive by factoring out a negative 3. Distribute to check. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Okay, so these are problems from the book. And you have to factor them. The problems that I showed you are a lot more difficult than these problems. So you'll have to do each of these problems and I'll show you the correct solution. Pause for number 9. 2x plus 2, they both have 2, so factor out a 2. X plus 1, distribute to check. 2x plus 2, good to go. 3x plus 9, they both have 3 as a factor. Distribute. 3x plus 9. 5x plus 15. They both have 5 as a factor. Distribute to check. 5x plus 15. 4x plus 16. 4 is a factor. X plus 4. Distribute to check. 4x plus 16. (2x plus 12) is going to be x plus 6. 12x plus 24 is going to be 12. X plus 2. 7x plus 35 is going to be 7. X plus 5.